folks. Welcome to the Issue Crew. It is the show where we all have issues, both with our lives and with each other. I am your host, Riley, of course, joined with a wacky cast of characters. As usual, Captain Black Bread is here.
Oh boy, it feels great to be important again.
But
But it's more important to be nice.
So, back-to-back
Kang
hurricanes.
is finally back.
Back-to-back hurricanes. Can't keep my ass down.
Finally done fucking swimming around and shit. Fucking fixing his house or whatever.
Was your ass up to the hurricanes? Like, were you like presenting yourself to the hurricanes so that maybe they would just take you?
Come for me,
they'd
daddy.
Go away?
Oh, no.
Also joining us, very special guest, one Dickington Post, aka Krimcl. What is up, my friend?
Not a ton, but other than that, not much. Not stuck in any hurricanes, thankfully. Though it was raining a little heavy today. We got some flooding. That's about it.
Don't like the flooding. Flooding is bad. But folks,
Insulin shot live on air.
Live insulin shot. Here we go.
It's the most interesting thing to listen to. Silence.
Yeah, it's good. It's good
skin.
audio content. Is somebody doing an insulin shot?
Yeah.
My uncle was talking with somebody who asked him. He's like, "Man, you do that all the time." He's like, "Does that hurt still?" No. At some point it's supposed to stop hurting, as if you were like,
yeah, you can just build up an immunity to getting stabbed and bullets. Like you shoot yourself. You start with like some pellets, and then you move up to maybe some like bigger BB rounds, and then eventually you can just take a 22 to the leg, and you'll just be completely immune.
Oh, God. So you just got
like
you gotta
gauging
work
your
your
ear.
way up different calibers.
Yeah, it's like gauging your ear.
Yeah, that's what they told me in the hospital when I was 17, basically. So that's fun. It still hurts every time.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I imagine it still hurts, but like, does it really hurt? Like, I imagine it doesn't hurt the same as it once did, or am I off base?
It's actually worse now because it's kind of like in the same areas over and over, and like sometimes there's like scar tissue built up in some spaces, and like the needle won't go in quite right, or like it fights you a little bit, or like you don't get the angle right. Like you do it enough times, and it just like I don't know. Sometimes I'll get one where it'll just sting a little, but that's about the best it gets.
Like, what if you just like found the exact same access point and just kept stabbing it? It would probably just never heal then, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I
Got
would
a
assume so.
pretty bad buzz on my stomach. Rotate the injection site enough.
Oh, yeah, that's not nice. Well, folks, that's a little preview into my future if I don't lose weight. And with that, let's talk about straw poll results for the issues last week, because we did get a vote.
One vote? Okay, I know who
One
did
vote.
it, so it's not going to be for me.
Wait, you know who voted? Who voted?
The one and only fan who only likes you and Demigloom.
No, Redox doesn't vote. I don't think he votes.
Well, some fucking fan he is.
Redox likes to listen to the MoCast and anything that Demigloom is in. The rest of my shows, he just kind of like shits on in the comments. Folks, if you'll recall, the issues from last week were lazy coworkers, YouTube's flawed AI system, Linux class citizens, the societal condemnation of not caring, and complacency. And the winner, the one and only vote on the evening, was complacency. Demigloom is the winner.
What the fuck, are you shitting me?
She probably sent it to one of her dumb leftist friends. You know, I don't think it counts.
Something else probably would have won if people weren't so complacent.
True!
This is true, yeah?
Pretty good. But folks, those are last week's issues. I think it's about time for this week's issues, because no, Redox, I'm not playing your fucking voicemail where you tell me to talk about Jackie. I'm not going to talk about Jackie. Shut up.
Well, look what you've done.
I guess this is technically talking about Jackie. So
you brought up Jackie
behind that.
If anybody who's a fan or has been a fan of Monkey Jones, you may recall a character named Asperger who got into a little trouble after he hit his girlfriend, whose name was Jackie. And my good buddy Redox, a fan of the show, or a fan of the MoCast at least, Redox, has a weird autistic obsession with Jackie. Like not even like the like nuances of the domestic abuse situation, just Jackie the person in general. He like stalks her LinkedIn and shit. and he always wants me to talk about Jackie. So I'm not gonna talk about no talking about Jackie. We're done with Jackie. I'm never gonna say that name again. I'll fucking censor it like it's the N-word.
So kind of like the same way that I want to be mentioned on larger podcasts. He wants to hear about Jackie.
Correct. He just wants he wants to hear all about Jackie, and here's
that all it
here's the
takes?
story on Jackie. I don't know
I'd love
shit
for it
about
to
what
be
she's
that
been
easy.
doing for the past 6 years because I'm not stalking her LinkedIn page, and she's not online in any other way. So I really have nothing to say. But anyway, folks, we gotta talk about issues. And I think that Kang, after he's been absent for so long, is primed and ready to go first tonight. So Kang, what's the issue? What's going on? Tell us.
Well, as much as I would admit, my 22 years in living in Florida have been all the more stellar. I ain't gonna lie, I have my reservations most times on why I still stay here, It's like a toxic relationship. I'm just gonna
Is your issue
it out.
because I can get on board with this 100%.
And I'm gonna just say it, hurricanes.
Wait, hold on. This was already an issue, wasn't it? Or was it just hurricane season?
It sounds familiar. If hurricane season wasn't it, I don't think I can let that one slide. That one's too close. Occasionally, I'll let something that's pretty close slide. But if somebody's already done hurricane season, I don't think you're allowed to do hurricanes.
All right, how about spinning natural disasters?
Oh my!
Yeah, because that
fucking
could
God.
be
Just
more
do
than just a
Florida.
hurricane. No. But spinning natural disasters could at least be a tornado or a typhoon.
Have you
Isn't
ever
that
been in
still
a
just
tornado or
Florida?
typhoon in your life?
Well, considering
Uh,
typhoons are basically like hurricanes.
But spinning the opposite direction and happening on the west coast.
Fine, fuck it, whatever. Spinning natural disaster. Go ahead, whatever.
Fairly recently, Florida has been dealt 2 back-to-back blows.
From
Hurricane
a spinning
Helene
natural disaster.
and Hurricane Milton.
Of unknown type. Who knows what it could have been.
The terrible twosome, the toxic relationship, the fucking Chris Brown to Mother Nature's Rihanna. In general,
Jesus
dealing
Christ.
with these storms has been a bit of a lengthy process of both pure unadulterated hell. I had to, at one point, help out my grandparents with a little bit of cleanup. Well, technically, they lost the house because, it got flooded out, and I had to help them move into a new apartment. I helped them out, and honestly, having to see some of the shit that had to get thrown away was fucking gut-wrenching and just fucking depressing.
I mean, at the
And
end
I
of the day,
figured-
it's just like, go ahead, keep going, finish up.
And I figured, hey, maybe it'll be the end of it. Much to my chagrin, it was not. Then Hurricane Milton happened.
You could have made your issue like double hurricanes. That would have been an acceptable, different kind of issue because that is
That's
an
not too
insane
late.
thing that happened.
That's not too late.
All right, how about back-to-back hurricanes?
I mean, I think double hurricane sounds cooler, but if you want to give it a not cool name instead, then sure.
Well, double hurricanes does imply that they're like spinning around each other and really fucking shit up.
That's fair. I bet that'd be fucking sick.
Yeah.
God, the fuck are we doing? The Hurricane of
Yeah.
Souls now?
Hey, Krim, can you turn your mic up a little bit by chance?
But-
a little quiet.
So I can move it closer to me and far away at the moment.
We get through one storm. I help out my grandparents clean out their house, get it ready to get refurnished, redo the walls, everything. And then another one.
Boom.
We
Bum.
were all praying
Another one
that...
bites the dust.
Shut the fuck up, Riley.
Bum, bum, bum. Kang's getting flooded again.
Now, I was lucky. Both storms, I did not get flooded. Now, when we were dealing with Helene, that scared the shit out of me a little bit.
What was the order of the 2 hurricanes? It was
Helene and then Milton.
okay.
So,
I can't believe the government did that to you.
Fucking weather
yeah, I
machines.
can't believe they used their hurricane machine. Fucking send them all out.
man, I can't believe they gave most of the FEMA money to the green carders that come across the goddamn border.
That was, I have an unhinged conservative sister who posts on Facebook all the time, all of her crazy right-wing shit just constantly. And
Based.
I every once in a while, I have to give it to her, and that was one of those times. I was like, Even little leftist old me is a little annoyed that we're giving this insane amount of money to fucking Ukraine and Israel, and we don't have enough money for hurricane relief for FEMA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, especially because you need so much extra to fund something like FEMA because it's a government program, so they're going to embezzle at least 10 to 30% of the money.
Yeah, that's true. You have to account for the embezzlement.
Old Creepy
Yep.
Joe is just like, wait, this is cutting into my like child sniffing fund.
This is cutting
And
into
he's
my
like,
son's
What are we
cocaine
doing this
fund.
for again? No. It wasn't cocaine his son was on. That was straight up crack.
It was straight crack, yeah. It's a little
But,
different.
you know, I was
Okay.
yeah,
not
and
not that
Parmesan
different, but it's a
cheese
little
near the
different.
end.
Yeah. It's more
But-
reputationally different.
Also, I finally got a chance to see that picture that everybody was tripping about, where it's just him in his underwear and a pink fucking whatever the hell that is.
The one
That's
where it's like in
genuinely
the
a
tanning
fucking
booth or whatever.
I don't know what it was, but he was like posing. But like, I saw that picture and wow, I don't know what it is about that picture, but it's fucking great. It's like, it's everything you know that somebody like on hard drugs thinks this is really cool. And so in an ironic kind of way, it is. It's fucking
I don't know if
stupid.
what did Hunter Biden go to jail for? Or I think he went
Is
to
he
jail.
in prison?
What
Illegal
was he in
weapon
court
possession.
for? Okay.
Yeah, I believe technically possession while under the use of like narcotics or drugs. Because drugs are federally illegal, it's technically federally illegal to possess firearms at the same time. But there's this weird question about the part on the form because it's like, are you doing any illicit drug? And it's like, is possession? Does it mean you're doing them? Does it mean you're selling them? Like and it's currently up for getting struck down. So it's funny.
Okay, I see. I'd always heard. I assume I must have heard wrong, or he must have hidden it real well. Because I'd always heard on that laptop that there was a video of his 14-year-old niece giving him a foot job. This is a point that I've heard constantly, but I feel like he would have been charged in some way if that was the case.
I know there were
Well-
like Asian prostitutes. I don't know about family members.
How would he be charged if, like, the only thing we can really do is guess what's on the laptop if we haven't seen what's on the laptop?
That we haven't the laptop's never been like seized in any way. Okay.
Rudy, I thought Rudy Giuliani dumped the files to the internet somewhere. But the FBI
yeah,
had the
because
laptop.
once in a
Like, they
while
gave
on a
it-
Twitter
yeah.
post, you'll actually see some of the pictures. Don't go looking for them. Just don't.
Just like a drugged out guy partying, so there's not like a whole lot to see. This there was an
no,
active
there's a
attempt
little
to-
bit to see
well,
there.
Yeah, I mean,
Some people have
there's a
more.
lot. There's a lot that a guy doing crack's gonna have around when he's partying. So
Mhm.
Yeah, like underage girls.
yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
No, not potentially.
Did they actually
certainly
verify
look
them?
like they
Okay.
are.
Well,
They
that's what I meant by-
certainly look like they are.
That's what I meant by Asian prostitutes. So you never like really know. Like
Some of them may look old, but they are damn.
Do Taiwanese ladyboys even count? I don't think the age of consent applies there.
What the fuck, Riley?
normally,
Come on.
I don't know, but I do know that technically sex tourism, like if you go to another country to have something like that where it would be illegal in your home country, you're technically violating the law in your home country, at least in the United States.
That's definitely super illegal. Definitely
Yeah.
very criminal and bad.
That said, Thailand is still known for doing that. So obviously someone's going over there and doing it.
You gotta hand it to them. The amount of money that shit must bring in, even though that is incredibly fucking illegal.
I don't know if you have to hand them to him, Kang. I'm gonna say that you don't have to hand it to them.
Yeah.
And the FBI kicks down my door in 3, 2,
It's
1.
over for
No, they don't have to kick down your door. They're gonna send another hurricane to kick down your door. They'll come in
Yeah.
afterward.
Nah, I can just see it now, just like fucking Satan's looking up, just like, Jesus fucking Christ, this kid is going to hell. But where was I? Oh yes, Hurricane Milton. God, whoever the fuck decides to name a goddamn fucking hurricane like Milton. Really?
It's not very intimidating. It's like when they call influenza
No.
the flu, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's like a cold when the flu can like kill you.
It's
You
like
gotta name
what
it more intimidating.
what they've essentially given Milton is the name of a fucking Jewish bank worker.
a fucking board game company. Like, it's literally a game.
Yeah, like the
Fucking
next one is just
Milton
gonna be
Bradley.
Yeah.
like the next one's just Hurricane Steve.
Hurricane Steven and Nita
I-
Smith.
Category
Steve.
5 Hurricane Steve.
It's just not. It's not the same
So
impact.
we
Yeah.
decide to basically get everything packed up that we want to bring that we don't want to potentially get destroyed. We rent a U-Haul, we bring that shit to fucking Orlando. And when we go into Orlando, let me tell you, that was to put it in perspective, you know the whole fucking meme, everything was fine until the Fire Nation attacked.
the Fire Nation did attack, as it turns out.
Oh yeah, fucking so
That was the Water Nation, dude, and the Air Nation. They kind of teamed up to fuck you guys.
Yeah, it was a co-op on that one.
I could not, the night that fucking storm hit, I could not fucking sleep.
I can imagine.
The whole night, you could tell the storm was there, and my fucking ears popped because of the atmospheric change. Thank God the fucking door was deadbolted, because with how hard the fucking wind was like blowing, it was like we were wondering it was a matter of time if the fucking door was gonna come off the fucking hinges.
Right.
Yeah, so the government was already knocking on your door, and you didn't take the hint.
Shut the fuck up, Black Brat. But
Yeah.
in the end, we're all here. We're all alive. The house survived, you know. Me emotionally, I did not. I fucking died that night. To be honest, to be quite honest with you, I really never want to go through another storm like that again, which I'm probably going to wind up going through another one coming time when the next hurricane season rolls in, because fuck Florida and fuck everything we stand for. Also, to add insult to injury, aside from my grandparents losing their house to flood damage and everything, getting all that shit fixed, all that bumfuckery done, and we also have heard that part of their screen room wound up going into a few neighborhoods, and insurance is not going to cover that.
Oh.
So, although insurance may not cover putting in a new screen room, at least the yards got covered with the screen room.
Well,
You
there
see, if you
go.
live near me, I have a very particular job in which when some of our material gets damaged in a way, we can't use it for anything. So then we get to just put it off to the side, and then people just show up like, hey, I need a fucking 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch ply. I'm like, yo, take it. Can't fucking do shit.
Take it.
Yeah. So I'll just send that to Florida. Be there and like, oh shit, hold on, I sent it by helicopter. There's a hurricane intercepting. I think it's coming straight for you.
Shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh
That's a good sign,
no! We're fucked!
And
How much
okay,
stuff
this
did
sounds
you
like
lose?
a skill issue to me.
Bitch, you can't say much when we're in the same fucking state.
Yeah, but somehow the storm neither storm affected me in any significant way whatsoever. Besides,
Yeah.
like, I didn't have power for a day or two. That was
Well,
it.
we weren't worried that it was gonna blow you away.
Yeah,
I think you're fine.
yeah. So, but no damage, or at least very minimal damage.
We held his house down.
So the last time there was like a quote unquote big hurricane, we put up. I have hurricane shutters, in like on my windows, but we've never used them because no hurricane ever hits us like hard. But there was one hurricane. I think it was. No, it couldn't have been Irma, because I thought Irma was like 2022. Irma was 2017. I don't know what I'm thinking of. It's not Irma, I guess. Whatever fucking big hurricane happened just a couple of years ago, scared us into trying to fucking put the shutters down. I don't think we even figured out how to put them down correctly. It would like constantly knock into my window. Like, I don't think it's supposed to do that.
Well,
But
I think they're supposed to do that a little bit. Isn't that what shutters do? They just whack back and forth.
yeah, maybe we were using it correctly after all, but that was the one thing that I noticed got damaged after Milton is like
Yeah.
a piece of the fucking hurricane shutter broke off.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yeah. My point was shutters just shut over and over. That's why they're called that.
That's true. Yeah.
So they make a lot
And
of
again,
noise.
these hurricanes always like try to scare us into thinking they're gonna fuck with us, and then they never do. It happened again. Fucking Milton. Everybody was like, "Oh, Milton's gonna be real fucking bad. You better get
And
out of
Milton's gonna be
there."
so bad. Oh
Fucking-
yeah. It's so then it comes to you, and it's like, no, nothing happened. But oh, never mind everybody around you who got fucked up by that thing.
Yeah, I don't care. I only care about myself. And you
Oh, that's
know,
fair then.
I was told that it was gonna be a big deal, so we left. We went, and I had to fucking hunker down at my mother's fucking work. We had to fucking sleep on the floor of. She works at a nursing home. And we had to sleep on the floor of the fucking beauty salon that was closed down. We had to bring our fucking kittens. They were a handful. You know, it was a whole thing, and then nothing fucking happened. We would have been
Yeah, I'll
totally
just-
fine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I was thinking about something a minute ago. So you know, you guys got all the crocodiles or alligators or whatever it is you got. Do those things get like flung around by hurricanes? Do people got to worry about getting hit by an alligator?
I don't know. That'd be pretty funny though.
But when towns flood, right? Alligators probably come inland, right?
That would be a concern.
A big
You don't
concern.
you don't get alligator rains like the frog ones you see on TV movies that are just coming down out of the sky into your yard.
It's like Sharknado, but it's fucking alligator hurricane, new spin-off
Yeah.
series.
GATORCANE, yeah.
GATORCANE, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Kang, are you done complaining about these storms?
Yeah. I'm
How
just
how
like-
did you lose any stuff? Like, did you lose like a collection of Pokemon cards or like a movie collection, or like did you actually lose anything, or did your grandparents' stuff just get like fucked?
My sister lost a good amount of the shit she had stored at my grandparents' house. My grandparents' house, they lost a good chunk of the furniture, like pretty much everything. I, on the other hand, I'm basically came out unscathed.
Then what are you even complaining about? Non-issue, don't vote for it. Cats and black bread, go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's gonna be pretty hard not to vote for mine. All right.
Okay.
I'm telling you that because I have to pull it up to remember what I called it. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. It's loading. Oh, here we go. Apolitical YouTubers being political. So I got some people that I like to watch, but as soon as they try to dip their toe into politics, it's like no man's land for them. They just have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and they sound like idiots. So I have a couple examples of this. When Quentin Reviews suddenly came out and was just like, I fucking hate Trump. And he just went on to make a speech talking about shit that he had no idea about. All he knew was that he had strong feelings. And frankly, that's really fucking gay. And it gets in the way of his actual content, which I'd argue is quite good. But I think he has no place telling people, like, how they should feel about things. Especially when
I don't
he
even
probably got his fucking information from CNN or some shit.
I don't even think his fucking content is good. Never mind his fucking political opinions.
Whoa!
Hold on, no, Quentin Reviews is great, man.
Yeah, he's great. He's got like
Okay.
the iCarly like collected universe reviews that he's done over time that are really solid. The whole like Nickelodeon extended universe thing.
The fact that he's reviewed every Dan Schneider show except for the best
Yeah.
one is really telling.
Wait, which one's the best
one?
Drake and Josh, obviously.
He's probably getting around to it, I'm sure.
If
even
he
did the
reviews Drake and
fucking,
Josh, I'll watch it.
Well, I mean,
He,
it's gonna take some time.
Well,
I also
especially
like-
after all the deference he gave to or like the talking about like Jenna McCurdy and her like abuse issues with was it Josh that's in jail now?
No, Drake
fell.
got in some legal trouble. He's free now, but
he's free again. Okay,
probably a pedophile.
yeah, that might put a slightly different spin on
No,
the
it wasn't.
review.
They didn't say it was pedophilia though. They said it was endangering a child. There's a big difference.
That's what the plea deal he took. But the girl did get on the fucking stand and say that he fucking touched her, and I don't know if she was lying or not.
I mean,
It's not hard to
I'm not-
believe that a celebrity touched a child, you know?
Yeah, really, very easy to believe.
Yeah,
Krim, you should
basically about
update
the
that number,
equivalent
by the
of
way.
a bear shitting in the woods. It's like it's expected to happen.
A little bit.
I
It
have
shouldn't be, but
I have a slight feeling that number for freeriley.fund has changed.
might.
Oh, okay. It just hasn't caught up yet. Hell
Yep.
yeah, look at that.
Did go up
Yeah.
$7,800 out of the
I had to.
15,000.
I wanted it to be an even number. I mean, it was
Wow.
already an even number, but I wanted it to be 7,800.
He wanted it to be a higher even number.
Yeah.
You know what? I guarantee you that Riley also wants that to be a higher even number. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he appreciates it.
Hell yeah. I'll bother him about it another time. I've never talked to the other Rileys, so who knows?
Another is it 2 weeks now? The 14th. The 14th is his next trial date where he actually has to go in and actually talk to the judge or like communicate with them in some way instead of just a bunch of procedural nonsense where they hold the sword of Damocles over your head for months.
Yeah. So anyway, my other example is Todd in the Shadows. One of the only good fucking reviewers on the fucking nostalgia critic that like actually held up, you know.
Yeah, he still covers pop music fairly well.
Yeah. He does his one-hit wonders and stuff, but he's very, very far left in his politics, and I don't think even he knows why. I think he just feels like he's doing the right thing. He ruined one of his videos just recently doing this, where like people were complaining in the comments and you could see it. It was he was doing a video about Kid Rock and like one of his most recent albums, which is kind of insane that he's still making music, but
or the Kid Rock song where he talks about how much he loves raping little girls. It's a real Kid Rock song.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
They call it statutory, I call it mandatory. That's a line from a real Kid Rock song.
No, it's not. Come on, you're fucking with me.
That's real. That's 100% real.
What the? No, okay, if this is real, what is up with fucking old rock stars making these like songs? Like even like back in the 70s, for some reason they're just like, it's all right to. For some reason there was just this idea of, oh, it's okay to like them younger. Fucking Ted Nugent had Jailbait. Oh god, who was the one who did She's Only 17? I don't remember
I am
what the
looking
band
that
was
up
called.
right now because the funny thing is I was listening to that song the other day.
That song's from Osmosis Jones. What the fuck?
Wait, what is?
The statutory rape song by Kid Rock's from Osmosis Jones.
Wait! No fucking way! That's wow!
Kid Rock, Cool Daddy Cool. My story ain't complex. 240s and a Rolex.
a
This doesn't even
song
make
by
sense for
Winger.
something inside of someone's body.
Well, I mean, the guy in-
but I say a story.
Okay, the guy in Osmosis Jones is really fucking gross, right? So maybe he is swallowing Rolexes and shit.
It does say that it's as the character, but like even these lyrics seem wholly inappropriate for. Wasn't that rated G?
I don't know what it was.
Probably
rated.
not, but it was probably PG, which
It was
It's
PG.
Bill Murray's worst role.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely need some parental guidance around fucking Kid Rock, I guess.
I think so.
Well, no,
was
that's why he put
PG.
kid in front of his name, is so he could still fuck people underage.
He identifies as
Oh.
a kid.
Oh, he's Kid Rock, is he? Oh, it's okay then. He's of
It was
age.
PG. We can 100% confirm it was PG.
Okay.
He's a parent and he's guiding his cock into your children.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with these old rock stars. I hope Fred Durst didn't do that.
Well, what's up with these old rock stars? They were probably actually marrying 16 and 17-year-olds. That's probably what was up.
For all you know, he could have done it all for the nookie.
No, I don't think Fred
I mean,
Durst
I assume
ever...
that he did.
I don't think Fred Durst ever did it. Fred Durst is a pure man, and you can't ruin him for me.
I mean, I don't know. The rock star culture is kind of in general a little bit. It seems like more rock stars fucked teenage girls than didn't fuck teenage girls back in the day.
Well, fucking
Priscilla
teenage
Presley,
girls
14.
Well, fucking teenage girls does imply that there's a 20% chance of that being legal. So really, you're taking a chance anytime that they say
Okay,
that.
let me
You have to check
rephrase.
for ID.
Fucking underage teenage girls more than they didn't.
What are you
I
saying?
get
It's
older,
okay to
they
fuck them
stay
if
the
they're not
same
teenage
age.
girls?
Yes, they do.
Wait, what are you saying? Well, it wasn't a trend
Oh, I
for
got
rock
you there.
stars to.
He's
It
quoting.
wasn't a
He's
Riley
trend
likes
for
them
rock
even
stars.
younger.
It wasn't a trend for rock stars to fuck 10-year-olds. It was a trend, however, for them to fuck 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds.
Iggy Pop. I slept with Sable when she was 13. Her parents were too rich to do anything. She walked her way around L.A. That was lyrics to one of his songs. And he did in fact bang Sable Starr when she was 13 and he was 23.
That's not okay. You can't
Whatever.
do
That's like a
that.
10-year difference.
I mean, yeah, Elvis Presley
It should be
only had
fine
an
if you're,
11-year
like,
difference
30
with
and
his
40,
14-year-old
but-
girlfriend. We got Ted Nugent was 17, had to ask the parents for, well, that's a little bit more reasonable.
And
Wait,
hold
oh,
on,
he was
hold on.
17 when that happened?
She was 17, though apparently Courtney Love said that Ted Nugent had her blow him when she was 12 and he was 28.
I
Well, I
don't
mean,
believe Courtney Love.
That's fair.
She still won't admit that she's the reason that Kurt Cobain killed himself.
Oh, yeah,
or
killed
that
Be
she
honest,
killed
I
him.
was-
Or that she
Yeah,
pulled the trigger. Yeah.
Or that she killed himself, yeah.
See, here's my thing. When Elvis was with the girl, did he not wait? Like, yeah, it's
I don't-
fucked up.
No one cared then. I don't think he would have even had like cultural incentive to wait in the 60s.
It's not
70s.
Kang. What you're describing is called grooming. That's also not okay.
Yeah,
God
what was
damn
it
it,
back
I'm-
in the day? Like, you're kind of right. The culture was really strange because, fucking, God, how do we get on to pedophiles? Okay, anyway, fucking, no,
We went
hold on,
from
though.
Quentin Reviews to Dan Schneider to Drake and Josh to Drake Bell. It was a whole
No, Todd in the
fucking-
Shadows for a brief moment, then Kid Rock.
And then back to
being a
musicians who are
pedophile.
all, yeah.
Okay, back in the 60s, though, late 60s, I think there was an advertisement, like, right as Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was coming out, where, like, the little cartoon girl was saying that Willy Wonka was dreamy. Now, that's a man that is, like, just recently in his 40s. And I don't know what it was back then, where the culture was, hey there, little girl, step on my magic carpet. You need a 40 man. You're 12 years old. You're just starting to bleed, and you need a 40-year-old man to guide you into the world.
It was kind of like I
don't think it's changed. We just talk about it less. Like if you look at the statistics, young men aren't getting laid, but young women are and older men are. So you have to kind of conclude what's going on there is that they're not like I remember in high school there were girls who would constantly talk about like the 22 to 25-year-olds they were banging that seemed like it was purely because they had cars. Like any amount of power, especially on younger
true.
Especially
God,
on younger,
gross,
vulnerable
though.
women, and they're just like wholly exploitable. It's like horrible, and people don't like to talk about it. So I think it just sort of instead of dealing with the issue, I think people just stop talking about it.
Well, thank
feel
God we
like-
got people like the guy that's doing the Newly Peds game.
I feel
Love
like it
that
would
guy.
be fucked up if you were a fucking school teacher. All of a sudden, you hear Lucy talking about, "Oh, I sucked this cock for some fucking I don't know Taco Bell or Starbucks."
Well, they don't.
yeah.
They don't even see it as transactional a lot of the time. They see it as like an actual like relationship with someone who's like, have you met teenage, like you remember school? You remember everyone around you being a fucking loser with like nothing going on in their entire lives and no resources and no ability to do anything or have fun or go anywhere. Like
And the guys that were
I'd bang a 25-year-old to go have some fun. That sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, if we're all real.
The opportunity to suck a dick for some fun didn't present itself in high school, which is probably a good thing. But, you know, it just wasn't an option.
Yeah. I hear it does things to kids. Like even if it's an older lady and you know you're a little boy, right? Whatnot.
It messes up your idea.
You up.
It does. It permanently like damages like your idea of what these trusting relationships are. Like especially because they're almost always people in positions of power over you that are supposed to be these relationships that you can trust. That's supposed to be like a chain of trust carried from like your parents to the school to like whatever adults the administration has randomly chosen to expose you to that they hired from the local community.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the sad thing is most of the fucking people that were in my school were either groomers or pedophiles.
Yeah, in my
I feel like
school,
they
in
all
my
are.
high school, there was my theater teacher who like I loved that guy. I was devastated to learn this news. My theater teacher, he didn't even get arrested, and this isn't even public information because when they caught him, she was 18. So he just got quietly fired. But then a few years later, I met a guy who like was in my high school before I was, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I knew that girl. That was going on for years."
Oh no! Oh, talk
Rough.
about a fucking dick punch.
Jesus Christ.
That shit just happens and it's disgusting.
Yeah,
There was
sometimes you can hear it getting plowed in the other room.
Oh, that's not appropriate.
That is kind of what band rooms are for, though I probably shouldn't be the teachers.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
here,
the
blow
band room
on
is for
this
the-
French
the
horn.
The
They
band room
won't
is
know
for the
that
high
we're
school
fucking.
kids having sex with each other, not having sex with the teachers. Come on.
Yeah.
So you got to like cover it up by blowing up, have her blow on the French horn, and you just pick up a violin and make some screeching noises. And they'll never know what's happening.
Oh, and this one time in the band room.
Yeah, when,
Yeah.
when you come out bloody after practicing with J.K. Simmons, it's a different kind of percussion.
Well, I mean, what end are you coming out bloody? Like,
Probably all of them.
Ugh.
so what are you like gonna come out looking like fucking Carrie in there?
I don't know. You probably shouldn't be standing under her.
Because there's a little bit of marinara sauce ain't hurting no one.
All right, well,
It's not.
too
It's
much.
supposed to come out like whatever. We'll talk about.
No more.
We'll
I'm
talk
calling
about that later.
I'm calling an end. No more pedophile talk on this episode of the Issue Crew. I'm calling a fucking.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to bring up my
Calling
last
audible here.
example for my issue to reel it back in. Remember, we were talking about apolitical YouTubers becoming political. iDubbbz destroyed his entire. You know what? Is he destroyed? Or is he just still popular, but like waning in popularity?
He's destroyed.
Well,
I mean,
the
he's
thing
more
is, he's
popular than
destroyed, but
us.
he's also rich as fuck. Yeah, so like it's
It
hard to
balances
feel
itself
destroyed when
out.
you're still a millionaire, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man, the things I could do with $1 million that nobody else would.
Yeah, if I had $1 million, I'd be rich.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I had $1
That'd be
million,
pretty
I
great.
totally you wouldn't hear.
I could
the
buy
next
one
day,
house.
Yeah, I'd own a house.
Does that suck? You have to be a millionaire to own a fucking house now.
I could
Anyway.
start a militia just like Coney 2012 and start it as Coney 2024.
I don't know if that's who you want to aspire to, Kang.
Well, if you started as 2024, you have to make sure that your militia's already been like dealt with by the United States government and eliminated, so that you can pretend like you accomplished something when you actually catch up to current history again. So it's like, oh yeah,
Well,
we did it.
shit.
We stopped Coney. What do you
Yay!
mean the government raided him 5 years ago and this hasn't been a problem and we just like no one cared because it's over? Like, oh, okay.
Yay!
What are those extra?
What?
What are those extra long hot dogs called? Because I feel like that I used to think they were called a coney.
Are they not? Isn't it like a
Are-
Coney dog?
are they
Like
called
Coney Island hot
Conies?
dog? Yeah. It's spelled
It's like-
Coney, Coney Island.
You don't
like-
call it You don't call it Johnny Sins.
I don't know. It's
Shut the
whatever
fuck
the
up.
fucking like
You're
the
fired.
super long hot dog thing. Is that called a coney?
I think so. Pretty sure it's a
I know
Coney
that
dog
Sonic
from Coney
sells
Island
them and they're not
from
good.
from New York City. So that's got to be what it is.
Either that or do you call it a Peter North?
That's
a
only if you
Peter-
add lots of
that's a Peter
sauce.
East. Yeah, there you go. That's a
Pretty
Peter
good,
East
pretty good.
though, because Peter
That's
Northeast.
those are jokes only the parents are gonna understand.
Not really. We all got it. Yet the parents of the children that listen to the Issue Crew right after we just talk about all these pedophiles and shit.
Right after
Look,
we
the
went on a
kid- the
30-minute
kids need to know to
diatribe
watch
about
out for the-
pedophiles.
They need to
Yeah.
know to watch out for their teachers, especially the
Yeah.
band teachers, I guess.
Well, I mean, also it could be
The
worse.
theater
because
teacher, thank you.
Yeah,
You can
theater
really turn
teachers,
that around
library
and basically-
sciences.
you could turn that around and basically be like, so how about that mini lad guy, huh?
Oh yeah, remember that guy? All I've heard about him is that he used to do Minecraft and now he's a pedophile.
Well,
Wow.
no, he
That doesn't-
didn't. He
That,
used to
a
do Gary's
Minecraft
mom.
Don't- that-
YouTuber
that
turned into
doesn't-
a pedophile.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a separation to me. That sounds like someone finally realized what Minecraft was and started talking about it rather than anything changing.
I mean, it's also not like
Yeah,
you're just
it's-
going around just saying like, "Hey guys, Lion Maker here."
There's Lion Maker. That guy was up to no good. Dream seemed to fucking beat the allegations ass though. He's he won. It looked like.
That's weird. Well, good for him.
Well, if you can beat allegations, I suppose that's probably means you didn't rape anyone. So congratulations. Hopefully.
Yeah, everybody on the internet was like, Dream's a pedophile, and Dream made this big response video, and they're like, hey, Dream's not a pedophile. We still hate him though.
You're saying makes a
Yeah,
lot
I
of sense,
do.
but still, fuck you.
I would like to mention that fucking face reveal though.
He's out of
Like,
line.
I know
but
it's
he's
so
right.
long ago, but like he had his head in the same spot for the entire video. Like, here's my good angle, and he just stayed there the whole time.
Dream is
nice.
People like try to like do this whole meme where Dream is ugly. Dream is much
He's
more
not
conventionally
ugly.
attractive than I assumed he would be.
Yeah, he's. I mean,
He's a
I don't know.
decent-looking
He's not like a
guy.
model, but he's fine.
The people who hide their faces and don't use a cartoon avatar of themselves that's obviously someone in shape probably actually largely look like normal people. But if you got that cartoon avatar there, you're probably definitely fat, like almost every single time.
Yeah, I just
I don't know
flaunt
why
it.
people
I just
can't
go
look
on
at it.
camera with all of my fucking massive folds and such.
There was a
Don't need to
YouTuber
hide.
that
Cartoon avatar though.
I used to glance. It was a guy named No Bullshit. He used to use like a kind of not like a super fit guy, but like a muscly, not fat guy, and had a bull head on it as his avatar. And then one day he did like a face reveal, and it's like you're like 200 pounds heavier than the body that you're using to represent yourself. What are you doing? Like you've completely undermined your entire thing. Or even Maddox, where you go from like, oh, I'm this badass pirate to bald Armenian cuck. And he just could
the
never.
one thing that kind of bothers me is like his eyes are always super fucking red, like he never sleeps, right? Or he's just super stoned all the time. And he's got like the fucking bags under his eyes and shit. It's like, man, it goes from this badass pirate to like this very unhealthy looking man.
Yeah, Maddox
Oh, yeah.
is literally, I guarantee, Maddox is getting stoned, eating gummy bears, and crying about Dick Masterson. That is Maddox's regular. That's why his eyes are so red. One, because of the highness, and two, because he's recently cried.
I hope he's working up on on a follow-up addendum to the documentary.
When
there was a
you would think
like it used to before.
I don't know about
I don't know why he doesn't. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't know about apolitical YouTubers. But I was watching a writing advice video, and it was talking about burnout and like how to get through that, and like burnout versus writer's block and that sort of thing. And at the end of the video, he's talking about like he's in the promotional part that my YouTube custom app that lets you skip promotional parts that I should have hit the next video button for, and I didn't. And eventually he's like, and if you're like burnt out because you don't want to hear about politics every day, then consider voting blue up and down the ticket. Like, you don't even like know where you're broadcasting to the globe. You don't know what blue up and down the ticket means.
Oh God, vote blue.
And it was just like
the same as some of the dumbest shit. It's like,
well,
really,
and
vote
if it was
on party anyway. It's like
that's fine, I guess. If it was just if it was just the presidential election, I could at least understand it. But saying that voting some specific way is going on local politics is going to keep politics out of your day-to-day life is insane.
Oh, I just vote against my state. I hate what they're doing, so I'm always voting against everything that they want. So
I don't usually vote on most stuff, but when an initiative comes by or like a levy to fund the school district I went to, I make sure that I try to fill out my ballot that year to vote against the school getting more money.
Yeah, they're not using. That's what I saw
most of what
on my ballot. I was just like, nah, fuck them. They got plenty of money. If they need more money, then they're misusing the money that they have.
Yeah. I haven't been able to avoid anything about the election. Like I pop over and go to read a webcomic and I'll get like 2 or 3 panels in and all of a sudden they've transitioned it into being like about voting and the election again. And it's like, God damn it. I just like wanted to go read it. Just wanted to go like 5 seconds to not hear about politics every day or every single waking hour. Scream about it enough at people.
Yeah. So when you go on the internet for some sort of escapism, right? Watching a critic talk about music, watching a critic talk about like all the Dan Schneider shows or whatever he's doing. I also like Quentin Reviews when he talks about fucking Garfield because ordinarily I don't give a shit.
Dude, he's got such a great Garfield collection.
Yeah, I love his fucking passion for his Garfield collection. Like if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't give a shit about his videos.
Did you see Did you
great.
see the Dolls Kill review he did where he felt really bad that the company had some like controversy because they do like fast fashion and only have skinny models and like don't like they're just like a fashion company. Like, I don't really know what the issue was, but he like got the sponsorship, got a bunch of exclusive stuff, and then waited until like 2 years afterwards, and then was like, "Well, here's my video about it."
Well,
Long
you
after
gotta
the
get your
promotion.
money. You gotta get your money. This is what it is. But yeah, fucking that's my thing there. Apolitical
Captain
YouTubers
Blackbread, here's
not
a hint.
allowing you to fucking get or have your escape from politics.
Here's a hint. Anybody who is anti-Trump is gonna let you know. No matter how
That's true.
apolitical they seem to be, anybody who is on the left is going to be telling you to fucking vote blue because they have Trump derangement syndrome and they think that he's going to kill everyone. When in reality, he's probably going to accomplish nothing, much as he did in 2016, much as every president in modern times has done.
Well, actually, no. I'm not
Every
gonna get
president's
into
going
it
to
there.
accomplish the same thing. The slow erosion of all of our civil rights as we're all ground into dust. You did it, executive branch. You did it.
Good job.
Well, all I know is that I just don't want 4 more years of what's happening because it is just hard to keep up.
Why would anyone want 4 more years of a demon rat?
I don't care what's happening. I just don't want to like have to deal with people gaslighting me every single time I like go anywhere. Like, I don't care if you support Biden, but he's senile. Like, if it's like I don't care that you think that's fine, but you're lying to me about the underlying fact that he's senile. People do the same thing about like Kamala Harris, where they pretend like she's not a cop. It's like, what?
Yeah,
wasn't it awesome when Biden put the Trump hat on though?
The fact that he seems to have contempt for Kamala because I think the only thing Biden's realized in the last 4 years is that he just got cooed by the party.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what he said about Kamala, if anything. I know the Trump hat thing, people try to spin that way. I think that was just him having fun. He was just...
he also got... He got caught on a hot mic saying no one messes with a Biden when they were talking about Kamala and them.
Oh, you poor old oaf.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's definitely elder abuse, but he also deserves it. So, like,
yeah, fuck him.
He brought it on himself, sorta, you know.
Yeah, by being by having decades in politics, they all deserve it. They're all senile. They're all on like dementia medication. None of them should be in office.
Yeah, those same ones that have somehow made a career out of it.
Anyway, government is generally bad, so vote for my issue, apolitical YouTubers being political.
Fair enough. Folks, my issue is one that, plagues a lot of people. And, I understand it. I empathize with it to a degree, but I personally think it needs to end. I think it is unfair and unjust. My issue...
slavery's over.
Wow, really? I hadn't heard. They finally got it? That's awesome. Folks, my issue is letting the fan ruin it for you.
This seems like a personal one, but I'm listening. I'm here for it.
It's not really opposite of personal, because I don't let this happen, but it's just like this phenomenon where people will refuse to enjoy things just because the fandom is retarded. And it makes me upset whenever I'm like, hey, here's this cool thing. And they're like, yeah, but the fans suck. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It has nothing to do with the thing itself, though. Like, just enjoy the thing. Who fucking cares what all the fandom retards are saying?
That's the whole thing that kept me away from Undertale.
See?
And then when I finally played it, I was like, oh, this is really fucking great.
Yeah, who fucking cares about all the weird cringos who are fucking talking about it on the internet? Who cares? Just enjoy it.
Or the opposite side, where they were just like, the character has no gender. It's like, I don't care. I think that's more so that the person playing it can, get themselves into it. And so they're not stuck. You know how you like
the Luke Skywalker empty vessel,
gal, right? Yeah, you could be the guy, you could be the gal in Pokemon, but they just have one character in Undertale, right? So it could be either a guy or a gal. It's less about the politics side of it, more about the, what do you see the character as? And so we're just going to call it a they. And then, okay, actually, I'm going to fight against it just a little bit. And so a certain group got a hold of this, and they were just like, then Undertale is all about being gay. That did kind of ruin it a little bit.
I think they mixed up the fact that the game is kind of gay with it being about being gay. have
yeah,
that-
Well, it was made by a furry.
Well, and they have that whole like pacifist no kill option, and it's like, what? I mean, I guess, but
it's pretty fucking gay. To
But
be
killing
honest.
people is fun.
exactly.
Well, no, actually, I like the pacifist run because I don't know.
I
I
do
do
too.
feel better that you can like just if you're just making all the right choices, that you could just not kill anybody, right? I like
Yeah.
it for the strategy aspect and the fact that I can do that. And
I think
because
it's an
so many of the
interesting.
characters in the game are so likable, I
I think it's
like
Having
an
that
mechanic.
option-
premise.
Yeah, having that option is neat, especially because like I popped open Baldur's Gate 3 and it's based on D&D, so like there's no ultimately you're coming down to combat somewhere and you're gonna have to kill people. Like it just doesn't really work otherwise.
Just gotta roll charisma or whatever the fuck. Fucking talk him out of trying to kill you.
Yeah, I did the opposite where I did that. I talked them out of trying to kill me and I did all the quests by talking, and then I also killed them afterwards so that I could get double XP.
I see.
Damn.
Oh dear God, you just gave Riley an idea.
I'm a menace as it turns out, and I'm gonna let it fly. But something that's been trending on the old Twitter machine that reminded me of this issue and its many applications, which, I've run into it before. I used to be big into Rick and Morty. I'm still big into Sonic. Like I
Yeah.
have plenty of things that I enjoy where the
Yeah.
fandom is insane and rabid and strange.
But you
but
wouldn't
the-
defend Chris Chan, right?
No.
Okay, I was
I
just
think
wondering
there's
if that was the
there's a
thing you had
marginal
to
chance.
do.
Okay, here's what
I
I'll
would-
say. Maybe I'll defend her a little bit. I think there's a marginal chance that she just got gaslit by Kiwi Farms into admitting to a crime she didn't do. But
Yeah, I was
think
gonna
it's
say, I would-
20 in favor of her
I
being
would-
guilty.
I would say that the Chris Chan fandom is worse than Chris Chan, even if Chris Chan did in fact rape her mom. Because Josh Null, whatever the fuck you want to call him, is a giant piece of retarded shit and just lies all the time.
Hold on, can I move to call the Chris Chan fandom the Chris Chandom? Can we call that?
The
that?
Chandom.
Yeah, actually, I'm cool with that. The
It's,
Chandom.
it's better than calling it Kiwi Farms.
I mean, that is what it's called at the end of the day. That is
Yeah,
the
I
name
know.
for
And I
But
hear you
all
guys
that
being
way.
like, I hear you calling Chris Chan she, and I'm just like, well, Chris Chan has possibly done a heinous crime. I have no reason to respect the gender identity anymore, and that is just.
I
the
mean,
first
it's-
thing
I've
for
made
me.
that clear. I'm not here to have
It's
the
too-
argument about trans identity today. I don't have
Okay.
Demi Gloom here to back
No,
me
it's not.
up,
It's not.
but-
It's not an argument.
It's too complicated to care enough to swap up from whatever thing I'm looking at says. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
and most
that's
of
fair
them,
enough, huh?
yeah, most of the places I see go with the she pronouns. I don't even know if Chris Chan still does.
She does.
I-
She definitely
okay.
does.
Did you ever see that old video though, where Chris Chan, going by he at the time, will say, "Now that I don't know whether or not this person has done their heinous crimes, you guys are starting to convince me that maybe it didn't happen." Although there's
It
some
probably
videos
happened, but
that, yeah,
it
there's
might
some
not
videos
have.
that seem to suggest that this may have happened. So Chris Chan almost had a good ending in my head, right? It was just a video that he did for fun, where he was just like, he's like, I am not autistic. I have I work 2 jobs to support my elderly parents. And he's like, this is a prank. You've all been pranked. And
This
then
is
the
a
credit
trick.
song
You've all
plays.
been trolled.
Yeah,
That
there was
would've
something like
been-
that. I mean, I feel like, oh God, what if that was real though? What if we got the good ending?
The
And
good
it was
ending
just
of
the
Chris
most
Chan.
insane fucking troll.
The world, I feel like if we got the good ending, the world would have been a better place, honestly.
We would have realized
if
that
there had
somebody
been
could do
another
something like
Andy
that.
Kaufman, yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
I'm unaware of Andy Kaufman.
He basically never broke character in public for like, I don't know, like 60 years or something ridiculous until he died. I don't know if that was because there was no character to break. Like, obviously some of the stuff he did wasn't real. Like, it was like exaggerated. Some of the conflicts between other people, some of the other stuff was planned out, but even his friends, like 10 years after his death, were still like, nope, that was totally real, totally real, totally real. And then like eventually after that, they started being like, well, yeah, that thing over there we knew about beforehand, and like we kind of like staged that one, and like that thing over there, and it just like for decades, it was just total complete like
Anarchy and
Like,
fuckadry.
Actually,
yeah,
now that I
he
think about
was
it,
just a hardcore comedian. Yeah,
Yeah, now that I think about it, Andy Dick did the same thing. It was actually all a bit the whole time. He recently came out as not a rapist.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, it was a bit the whole time. I couldn't believe it.
Crazy.
I think the issue people end up having with fandoms is that a lot of people want to do more than just like Undertale. Undertale is one game. Once you finish the game, maybe you do a couple more runs. Maybe you
Yeah,
talk to your
Deltarune.
IRL. You talk to your IRL friends about it. Like maybe there's another game by the same developer. Maybe it's a sequel. I don't know. I don't know anything about the overall or overarching fan base. But I know that people want to participate in these things as a fandom in general. Like they want more out of it. And so they end up on places like Reddit or other forums talking about these things. And so when they encounter a new thing and they're like, well, Rick and Morty has this like cringe, you need a really high IQ to understand Rick and Morty fan base. It's just like, well, I want to like dive into the thing I'm doing. And part of it is interacting with those people. So I'm just going to skip the thing entirely. It's weird. But yeah, like I wouldn't cripple my enjoyment of something because someone else liked it. That seems weird to me.
And to make good on the point that I started to make like 10 minutes ago before we got into a whole nother side tangent, the thing that's been trending on Twitter recently that made me think about this issue is I see there's a Goku on your screen. If I'm looking at that tiny little screen, right, that looks like a Goku.
That's actually Riley photoshopped into the scene where Goku is recovering on Namek, waiting to fight Frieza.
Oh shit, that is Riley. It was too tiny, but now that you pointed out, that is Riley. But Dragon Ball Z Abridged has been trending lately, and that has been the most recent example of this fandom shit. Where a lot of people are just like changing history and saying that show is bad all of a sudden because there's a lot of annoying fans of Dragon Ball Z Abridged who have like, changed history and concocted their like narrative of Dragon Ball itself around Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I did see a short the other day where someone was like, "Yeah, this is the best dub, the Dragon Ball Z Abridged one." I know people who've never seen the actual Dragon Ball series who have seen all of Dragon Ball Abridged. It's like it kind of like crossed that Rubicon at some point. I don't know how, but it did.
Yeah, it kind of went mainstream in a way that people could have caught it, without catching the original. But like now a lot of like people who might have enjoyed it otherwise are just like really vitriolic towards Dragon Ball Z Abridged because all these rabid fans are like, oh, Goku's a bad father, and they're saying this entirely based on Dragon Ball Z Abridged, or like fucking. Or just like little like plot things that are only true in Dragon Ball Z Abridged that fans insist upon, and then that results in people who are actual Dragon Ball fans who might enjoy Abridged otherwise just deciding that they hate it now because they're just too annoyed with the fandom to engage with the actual thing itself.
Hope they don't want to play Xenoverse or anything because their fucking voices are in it.
That's true. They did get in there. They were almost in Kai. They cut it.
Yeah, that's the puppet.
Yeah. That was a good bit. That should have been in. That was actually kind of a genius move.
Toei, Shueisha, and like pretty much every Japanese company ultimately just kind of hates fun. Even if the thing that they make is supposed to be fun, it's still run by like stuffy 50 to like 80-year-old men in business suits who refuse to retire.
Corporate assholes, basically.
Plus that like weird layer of Japanese culture where they kind of like don't want to like look at competition, and like everyone at Nintendo says that they've never played like a PlayStation ever or an Xbox or a Sega. They're just like, no, we're like loyal to the company, and that's like a thing over there in their culture too. So it's like this extra weird
loyalty, basically.
Like
we thought that Iwata died.
Yes, loyalty basically came
to it not being something other than what they want it to be or think it is. Like the people going around swearing as characters that leaked out when Broly was suing Bulma.
Oh yeah, the
like they got in trouble really for those.
Weird. Yeah. It was, I thought Goku calling Gohan an F-slur was fucking hilarious. That was the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Oh no, it's comedy gold, but I think they don't like that.
But the Chi-Chi making like sex noises about Gohan, that was a little bit, unhinged.
Oh, that was fucking unhinged comedy gold.
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
though, even like Krillin's like ancient like Mondo Cool line that was from one of the dub actors at like a convention or something, I think. Even that I think didn't really settle particularly well with the Japanese owners, because to them, like, they own the character, and when you're doing that, you're, because their copyright law is weird too. So like I don't know. It just goes over very poorly, and they just don't want anything done with their characters like that for some reason. To just end up
Yeah, they're very particular, very prissy. It's unfortunate that people like Team 4 Star kind of get the raw end of the deal when it comes to that shit. It's like
yeah,
the same
especially because
general
the American
principle.
companies love them.
Yeah, it's like the
Every-
same general principle too with like Nintendo like fan games and shit.
Yeah, well, like
Like,
fan
like
fiction
you can tell,
is
like you
largely
can tell the
illegal.
difference.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Well, fan fiction is like technically not legal in America. It's
Well,
not
sure it
protected.
is.
No,
Sure it
it's
is.
not. It's
No, no,
considered.
no, here, hold
it's,
on.
It's not even considered
So-
transformative because they own the characters.
No, that it's fine, because right at the beginning of the stories they say, I don't own this character or the show or anything, and then they go on writing their smut.
Yeah, if only saying you didn't own something gave you the rights to use it. But that's the opposite of
That's
how
not
that
how it
works.
works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they
Yeah,
don't seem to mind because
unfortunately.
they keep letting it happen. But I know
Well,
Yeah, a lot of
like,
companies. The thing
generally
is, a
Well,
lot
they-
of
Japan and
companies
stuff.
embrace it, and then
They
there's
used to actively
Nintendo.
pursue they used to actively pursue fan fiction websites. There was, for the longest time on like earlier internet, constant like lawsuits from like celebrities or companies that own the underlying work, suing these places for like hosting pornographic versions of their stuff. Disney
Lame.
used to like black hole pornographic versions of their stuff, and that's partially for their reputation, but I think it's also partially because, like, if the fan base of Disney is like Disney porno, then they're probably not going to want their kids in that fandom, you know?
Well, they should stop drawing them that way then.
Yeah, come on. At least let me just like see someone get some good anal. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you don't want me to jerk off to
Okay.
Mrs. Incredible, then don't draw Mrs. Incredible like that. Like, come on.
Yeah, you'd think they'd figure that one out, but
Yeah, sure. Like I want to see Sleeping Beauty with a little bit of white on her face. Come on.
Holy shit, Kay, that's unhinged.
Okay,
it's no more on. It's
we
no
have to
more.
send
It's,
this episode to the FBI and be like, you might have to want to take a look at this Kang guy.
No, fuck
know
it.
how mu-
Kang is on
Whoa.
top of it this episode. It's great.
I don't know how much more unhinged it is
I
than
don't
the
let it
original
roll.
story.
I mean, yeah, okay, what if the original Grimm Brothers story, maybe that is what happened. He walked up, he's like, oh, she's sleeping? He's like, well, I can't fucking, he's like, I probably shouldn't, like, fuck her. That's probably pretty immoral, right? So he just beats off onto her face.
I'm sure
Like
she'll
in,
tell if
like
something
in-
was moved.
It's like,
Like
oh
in
shit, I gotta
Evangelion.
kiss her too? Oh, gotta wipe it off.
I'll just wipe
That
it
was,
down on your chin right there.
He
Pull
fucking
a
snowballed
Shinji
himself.
Ikari, refused to get in the robot, and then jack off on a woman in a coma.
That is, I've never seen Evangelion, and I feel people always claim the context of that like makes sense, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
The context of it being a like teenage boy who's a teenage boy who wants to bang the girl and instead does something disgusting and sick and perverted. In that context, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It doesn't. There's no like underlying justification that makes it less creepy than what it sounds like.
Wait, hold on. So this did happen in the show? Like, this is a real thing that
in-
happened in the show?
Yeah, not in the show. In the end of Evangelion movie, which covers the I think either the back half of the series or the front half of the series. Probably the back half, but
Back
there's
half.
two movies. Yeah, and in that Ray, no, not Ray, Asuka, or whatever they changed her name to now in the rebuilds, gets in a fight, gets in a coma because Shinji refused to get in the robot. So it's her fault. It's his fault that she's in a coma. And then it's just like he just like goes there and visits her, and then he just like jacks off on her. And then I think
No,
he says a
no
line like,
way.
"I'm
But
fucked up," or
this,
something.
come on. Is it just like highly suggested that this is what happened? Or
Well,
are
he's
you
got
just...
the well. It doesn't show the masturbating, but it shows the cum on his hand.
What? No way!
That's
No
anime.
fucking way!
the very famous scene from Evangelion. I've never seen
Are you sure he didn't,
Evangelion,
like-
but I know about this.
He just picked up like a snail off off camera or something, right? Or he actually
You,
touched
you
his
know,
foot.
you know,
course.
Like,
what,
oh,
what,
ooh,
one,
ew.
one point for the people who don't want to participate in something because of the fandom. Anime might be a good choice to like kind of engage that break up there for that one. They just won't stop talking about pornography in public and other things like that. Like it's like the weirdest disconnect from American civility of a fandom that I've ever seen.
We are a nation
Oh.
united in anime titties. Okay, leave us alone.
And
Probably are
totally
now.
wanting to eat out Ria's Grummery in front of everyone. Wait, what?
I don't know who that is. I
Yeah,
assume
sorry.
I don't want to Google that person's age, or Kang might get into some trouble.
Oh no,
Well-
Ria's is legal. I mean, she's in
Okay,
college, for fuck's
okay.
sakes.
Okay.
Well, but like it's anime, so you might have said, well, she's legal and she's 800 years old, and it still doesn't tell us anything about what she looks
Yeah,
like.
800-year-old
or if it's a
dragon
child or
girl,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I read a story with a girl that looked actually very young, but she was not, as it turned out. But no, there was one guy that went on and made fun of me for that, and it was just like, oh, you're obviously looking for children at the convention, and it's like, nah, not really. I thought she was like a kid too, and then she brought up that people called her the legal lolly, and I was like, holy shit, who the fuck am I
Holy
talking
fuck
to?
me to tears. And y'all say I'm
really-
unhinged for tonight? Jesus Christ.
No, I just wanted
The
to bring that
legal
up.
Black
That
Man's
was
just
lolly.
describing a thing that he's encountered. You're saying crazy shit.
Anyway, yeah, just a little bit of a fuck, what's the word? What's the word when you advertise yourself?
Plug,
Chilling.
shameless plug.
Yeah, I'm just shamelessly plugging an old video. That would be just listen to all 4 parts. That would be his butler simply irresistible.
You know what? Just watch every video on the Captain Blackbread channel on repeat forever.
I wouldn't recommend that. I've been uploading since I was like fucking 13, so
On the same
Probably
channel,
don't.
and the shit's still up.
yeah, it's still there. Even though YouTube
Jesus.
wants to take it down because because they're just like, why are you filming children? I'm like, did you not notice that this was
It's me.
uploaded like a decade ago or over a
Yeah.
decade ago?
I got one of me. I got one of me. I was smoking weed in a Rick and Morty mask, and it's like you're endangering children at this point here, where the person in the Rick and Morty mask walks onto screen. What?
Oh yeah, you told me about this. That's right.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that's great. You're just gonna like delete this. Can't appeal it. I tried to appeal it multiple times. Like, that's me. It's me in the video. It's me for like the 500th time of me smoking weed in the video. Weed videos
I mean,
are.
you looked underage in the video.
That's fair.
I'll be honest. Like the robot definitely tipped that off, and you just never got a human being to look at it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. No, when you pointed that out, that like my face isn't actually on camera at any point, so like you can't like who knows? Could be anything. I kind of see how that could get flagged, but still, it's really annoying that there's no human being anywhere. But weed videos have also been targeted randomly on YouTube before, where their channels will just get deleted, and then like 6 months later they'd come back and they'd be doing weed videos again
Oh,
because they suddenly decided it was okay.
weed
That's,
videos
that's-
are kind of just. Who's watching weed videos?
I don't know, but I have met people who wouldn't smoke weed because of the weed fandom.
No, that's
Weed
kind of
people are too cringe. Can't be doing that.
okay. Look,
Yeah.
I went to Hempfest once, and all it was just like okay. So all it was the weed fandom. I was looking for like a decent shirt, like a cool sort of somebody doing a kind of psychedelic design on a t-shirt, but all it was like pot leaves and 420 weed, and that was it.
Awful.
And Seth Rogen's face. I would have got one of Seth Rogen's face if that was really there.
Fucking
Honestly,
Seth
but-
Rogen.
Yeah, just like yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a work of art should be appreciated separate from the other people who appreciate it. I'm tired of seeing franchises get slandered in their entirety because their fan base suck. And you know what? Don't like it. Vote it up. That leaves us. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the problem with that too is that like the core issue, like the fan part of fan base and fandom is fanatic. They're bad in everything. You just might not notice it in all of them. There's no good fandoms. They're all like atrociously hyper insular and like have their like sacred cows to them, that if you don't happen to agree with those sacred cows, the community's a complete nightmare.
Yeah, but I feel like I
Yeah.
could get into the Garfield fandom. That seems like fun.
Garfield's
I don't
pretty
know.
cool.
How does the fandom even work when there's no like active media being produced? I guess
I think
Garfield's
there
still in the
is
Sunday.
still active.
I guess it.
Garfield media.
You know what? You're right. I'm wrong. Jim Davis is still making Garfield, or has some proxy making Garfield every week. But I'm just like I was
They
used to
have
like
that
cartoon shows
shitty
and
looking
movies.
CGI show.
Yeah, they had the baby Garfield.
Don't you
movie
shit on the
recently.
fucking Garfield show, okay? Fuck you. Kino.
Garfield and
CGI
Friends,
High
Garfield
quality
show. It
business.
looks like ass. They should have just kept him 2D.
Nah, listen, that's my Garfield, okay? That's hashtag my Garfield. That's what I grew up with. The Garfield
fucking
show,
hashtag
great
Grossfield.
show. The animation, takes some getting used to, but I think it's quite the quality program.
I know this man over here ain't disrespecting my boy Gar to the motherfucking field.
Only the CGI one. Whoa, I almost called you something. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't have gotten away with it on the show.
There's a lot of things that I want to call Kang.
I wouldn't have meant
As
it.
there is
The only problem is I wouldn't be able to say it on the
call
show.
you, Riley.
That means it's one of two words, folks. Which one could it be?
It's a
So-
fusion
are-
of both.
Yourself.
So, are you referring to the? Oh no, this is an American Canadian 2D anime series. That must not be it.
I'm talking about
That
The
one
Garfield Show, which is a 3D animated Garfield show that aired on Cartoon Network.
There it
Well, I
is.
was more partial to Garfield and Friends.
Yeah, where they're out on the farm, and there's a bunch of other ones. The Garfield Super Friends like comic series where they're superheroes is fun.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, folks, that's letting the fandom ruin it for you. Vote it up. And that leaves us with our guest here to take us home with our final issue. Krimcl. What is the largest issue in the galaxy?
Why
Military
is it Vito?
Simps.
Oh, okay.
Probably should be Vito.
Military Simps. Okay.
No,
I've
don't let me bully you into
Yeah.
making it Vito.
Vito this week put on a good show and didn't make me hate him more. So I did, if he keeps that up, maybe maybe he'll lose more weight. Who knows? But yeah, this last week, Twitch banned like all of Israel and probably Palestine too, but I don't really know how much internet I have. And people started saying that the military's bad. They have blood on their hands. Soldiers like kill children and all these things. And then there's just this weird defense force of people pretending like you can't like insult the troops or make fun of the troops, and that the troops have both simultaneously no responsibility for what they're doing and are like pawns of the government and like but have no I don't know why they're doing it, but it's probably some like team stuff. But this guy named Bosch Fostwin draws Muhammad as Hitler. He's an ex-Muslim. During 9/11, he kind of got fed up with Muslim stuff and started down a path there. And then a couple years ago, after the Charlie Hebdo thing, there were contests to draw Muhammad, and he started drawing Muhammad. He got death threats. Like, it's kind of a respectable, questioning the culture that you're from. That's a strong like moral point, I suppose. And then recently he's said that you can't make fun of the troops, even though the troops literally go over there and like murder women and children, and like that's just like their job is to murder civilians. Like that's why we have a military. It's not, I don't know. They just want to like suck off the military and say that you can't question them as the government. And it's been driving me insane this last week, because people who pretend they're for free speech all of a sudden are like, well, unless you want to question the deadliest force on Earth that's been murdering people across the globe your entire life, unless you want to question that, free speech is fine.
Hey, you want to talk about sacred cows? That's the fucking boomer sacred cow is just like fucking, they can't get over the goddamn military. The boomers and all the people who have had their wisdom instilled into them by the boomers are just like, oh, the military, oh, they fight for our free. You can't talk shit about the military. The military is perfect and we love them and they're our heroes and we can't talk any shit about them at all. You fucking bitch. Don't stop.
Yeah. Well, and then they'll be like, Obama's bad, we hated Obama. And then 10 seconds later, they'll be like, well, but it's totally fine that some soldier murdered American civilians without trial, one of whom was a child, on Obama's orders. That soldier doesn't have any blood on their hands. Soldiers didn't do that. That was the administration. It's not that these people have to make the choice on the ground every time they kill a child and willfully do it every time. That's not the case at all. It's just like,
Sergeant,
complete.
I'm gonna need you to kill that little boy.
Well, there's this thing in the military and pretty much every government position where you're like duty and oath bound because you swore you would to not follow unlawful orders. And executing an American citizen is probably an unlawful order, especially if there's been no due process or trial. Now, you know, the tendency is to just label them all terrorists now, which, whatever, I guess that school bus full of kids was terrorists. Sure, have fun. But you still murdered a school bus full of kids. These people come back broken. They come back, like, unable to fucking, like, function anymore because they're being sent to do these horrific things, and these people are celebrating it like it's some sort of like camp, like they did something good by perpetuating conflict in the Middle East for another 20 years instead of it's not, you know, it's people who should know better. And it's just been driving me fucking crazy this last week. The most annoying fucking biggest issue in whatever unit of issues we're measuring here.
There were large issues on a galactic scale here is what we're working with.
Yeah, and then everyone just wants to like dismiss any criticism of them as some sort of like, I don't know. They're not being remotely clever about it. It's just team guy shit. They're just constantly being like, yep, the military, everything they do is good. They can't possibly have done anything bad. You know, can't stand it. Hate the military. They're really annoying.
Yeah, that's the more, perhaps I'm biased as a leftist, but like even I get sick of the leftist team guy stuff, but like the worst team guy stuff is the fucking military bros.
Yeah.
Like it's
like,
so insufferable.
Yeah, and there is still a draft. The United States government has decided to expand that power every time it's come up instead of getting rid of conscription, which is slavery, to maintain some sort of standing army for people who aren't, I don't know, they're not making any money. Like if they went over there and they were like robbing a country blind and came back with like millions of surplus dollars that filtered into like soldiers and like American citizens' pockets, that'd be great. But it's just like BlackRock and Halliburton and making house prices go up more. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping us. I don't care what happens elsewhere. I don't care if they're going abroad to murder children, but they are murdering American children abroad. That is a thing that they do. So I don't know. Stop spending fucking money on it. Stop building tanks no one wants.
This fucking military budget is getting out of control, man. Come on now. Crazy.
So no wars does sound pretty good right about now. And you know what else sounds good right about now?
Yeah.
What?
Actually, it doesn't sound good. It's I gotta bring this up because I've been able to bring it up anywhere I could.
Okay.
But goddamn, I was on the fucking call-in show they did, or that Vito did while Dick was out on The Biggest Problem.
Oh yeah, still haven't finished that one.
Oh yeah, well you're not missing a hell of a lot. I mean, both Pink and I were on there. But when I was on there, right, I did my problem, and I plugged myself and then hopped off, and then fucking some guy in the live chat on YouTube was just like, what did that guy say? Oh, he mumbled. And I didn't mumble at all. And then Vito just agreed with him blindly, like, yeah, that guy totally mumbled his thing. Nobody else thought I mumbled my fucking thing. I
think your plugs are very clear. I heard the issue crew, and that's all I needed to hear. I don't care about the rest of what you said.
Yeah.
Vito does a lot of shit talking right after people can't respond anymore.
That I noticed that on this particular call-in show. He really just like he had
no. He did that the other day to me too. I'd already botched the show I was gonna run, and instead just had people doing drugs and talking about trying to escape the Matrix on Galaxy Gas, and then someone showed up and smoked meth. But Vito dropped in on that call,
Rabbit.
and then people were trying to people were trying to talk to Vito, and he wasn't like really responding to them. He was just kind of like, I don't know. He just kind of showed up. One person started spamming the chat, and like no one really did anything about it because no one had admin permissions but him. But then he went on his show and started like bitching about it, and then said, well, someone should have like moderation powers or something, when he was the one in the chat with moderation powers that he was saying should have been fixed with like he had the power to fix it and was the only person who had the power to fix it, and was like, nah, I'm going to blame this on someone else. It's just like, okay. And then he shit talked an admittedly bad show, but it was like, why even bother bringing it up? Like, it doesn't matter. It's just very confusing why he continued to go on about it. He's also just like doing that weird stream afterwards, like trying to redirect people to something he's not going to be at for an hour and a half. It none makes sense. Last week's show was good though. Of Biggest Problem in the Universe, that was fun. They got a good promotion in that. They got a good promotion.
When did the voicemails happen in that show?
About 2 hours in, I think.
I had one played
Okay.
this week.
All right, yeah, because if well, I guess you guys would know if my voicemail played because it was the same thing. Me giving Vito shit for telling me I mumbled my fucking thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think your voicemail played. My voicemail
Yeah, of
played
course
about.
not.
My voicemail played about making fun of Vito for doing the whole "I'm leaving Twitter because of the block" thing, and I got a pretty hearty laugh out of Dick, so I was
Pretty
satisfied
fun
with
one.
that.
Yeah,
They never played my damn voicemails.
I got pretty good traction out of my $2 and $5 super chats. One of them, Dick went on that extended rant about the guy that I'm bitching about too, Bosch Fastwin, mocking him for like, I don't know, it's good like 2-3 minutes. And then the other one was Riley's court update. They talked about that, and then they shit on Eric's new shitty Ripicent book. So pretty good, pretty good. Sometimes you send a super chat and they just kind of read it and move on. It seems like maybe a little bit of a waste of money, but sometimes you get like a nice extended bit. It feels a lot more worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta take
I
a
just
shot,
wish-
you know.
I just wish Senpai would notice me. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you just gotta. He gets a lot of voicemails. I will admit, I'm a weird internet autist who's occasionally guilty of being parasocial. And there was a time where I was like, "Does Dick not like me? Because he like never plays any of my voicemails." But then I realized I was just being retarded, and the man gets like a million voicemails a week, and mine just probably is not as funny as the other ones. Like that's what you have to accept.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you're like,
because I do some good voicemails and that just never show up. It's like fucking damn it! These two things would have played into each other perfectly. Email plus voicemail, both shitting on Vito. Maybe that's the problem.
maybe you also got to hope
There's
that
so
like
much
whatever
shitting
he
on Vito that you have to. Only some of them can get in there.
Getting lost.
well, he also
in
like
the sauce.
downloads the voicemails, so you got to hope that he like remembers which one he labeled as what and can actually find it when it comes time to play them.
Yeah, but also I
There
think
have
I
been
annoyed the
weeks where I
shit
sent
out
a
of him.
banger voicemail that I was like, "They're definitely playing this. This is like the funniest shit I've ever said." And then it's a week where Dick forgot to get the voicemails.
Yeah. So fucking damn. Honestly, like yeah, I put a lot of time into some of those, like trying to build the perfect bit, and then also at the same time trying to build a staircase and build a name for myself. And yeah, I almost feel like that's the whole reason I'm doing the show is just not really. No, I'm gonna keep doing the show. I love the show, but not this show, by the way, Riley. Sorry, I'm talking about mine. But
Yeah, you don't love this show.
where was
I
I going
know.
with this? No, if I didn't love this show, I wouldn't keep coming back, dickhead,
That's fair. That's fair.
so to speak.
Getting mentioned on a show you watch is very surreal.
It can,
Especially like
yeah.
the craziest thing is like I'll send a voicemail or like a super chat and I get mentioned, and that's normal. But like recently I had an experience where like I wasn't a subscriber to the $5 tier until about a year ago. I was a $1 subscriber. I watched the videos, but I didn't have the bonus episodes. And then I subscribed to the bonus episodes, and I listened to one of the WATP crossovers. And one of my biggest claims to fame is I used to do a Dick Show fan podcast called the Dickheads Podcast, and it was covered on WATP.
I didn't know WATP covered it, but I did know about that.
And in
Wait,
the bonus
really?
episode,
What
they
did they say
discussed
about it?
It was awful. It was terrible and bad. But to be fair, 95% of the criticisms were about Mo. It was me and Mo.
that sucks.
Almost
I like
every
Mo.
clip he played was Mo. It was really funny. So I did that, and then apparently in the TDS WATP crossover, they discussed it briefly. And Dick said, "I like that Riley kid," and I was like, "Aw."
I was just like
wholesome.
sitting. Yeah, Dick mentioned me to Sean, and then I don't know. I was kind of trying to do some sort of after show thing. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but just like keep getting mentioned on
getting Krimcl.
Yeah, I've got the Krimtacular call-in show and Krimpilled, and I think I have the bunch of other nonsense for don't really matter because it's just all the same call-in show.
Gotta get Krimcl, folks. Everybody get Krimcl.
Yep.
Hey, this would be a good time to start. Or wait, how long have we
Talking
been?
our shit here.
Yeah, we've been going for a while. We can start the plugs. So if
Like
people
an hour
want to
40.
get Krimcled, where would they go? Krimcl.
Oh, watch.krimcl.com will forward you to whatever my latest YouTube live stream or video is. That's probably the easiest way to find it. And then, I don't know, freeriley.fund. Go donate money to Riley so that he can rape Eric July to death in court. like he deserves.
Yeah, freeriley.fund. Everybody, we're big. We're Riley's a friend of the show. I'm a big supporter of Riley. To be clear, this is
Big
not
on
referring to me.
We're big on keeping Riley's free over here on this show. I assume.
we want to keep
all,
me free.
all Rileys.
We also
Yeah.
want to keep the other guy free. Good old
RLM.
ASE Riley. He's going to jail because Eric July is a cuck bitch, and if you can stop it. Attention, all Fortnite gamers! All we need is your credit card number.
Yeah, we need $15,000 to go for this fictitious litigation that Eric July is engaging in, which is criminal. God knows the prosecutor will do anything. It's probably going to cost Riley like $7,500. He thankfully made it over that first hump for this like initial like pleading not guilty, and hopefully it just gets dismissed on the 14th. But everyone was kind of hoping that it would get dismissed on like the 3rd of like last month too, or whatever. And it's just like these courts move at the pace of slow. It's just the fucking worst.
Yeah, $7,800 is a beautiful number. If we want to watch it
$7,800 right now.
This is a little bit of a tangent we're going on, I guess, but this reminded me. I had a conversation about this on the Dickheads podcast with Alex, and I thought it might be funny to pose to this panel. So recently we had a little bit of an almost apocalypse where multiple people associated with the Dick Show community were getting into some real hot water. We saw Riley go to jail. We saw Nick Rekieta go to jail. Yeah. So the question that I posed in the Dickheads podcast, I'd like to hear all of your answers to. Who's next? Who's the next Dick Show character who's going to go to jail?
Vito.
Vito? Okay.
For every reason that you think is going to happen. Like I think that's it's going to happen.
One too many magic card robberies. He's going away.
Did that actually happen? I remember hearing about that. Somebody said they saw him in a fucking store trying to steal magic cards, and he was on a fucking Rascal. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know if
I really wish it was, though.
I know that someone actually did be like, hey, I work at the store, and like I saw you shoplifting in the footage. Here's the footage. But I think he only sent it to Vito, not Dick. So we're never going to see it, unfortunately. Just like we're probably never going to see Super Killer. That's what Vito should go to jail for. Comic book fraud.
True.
I mean, so if we're picking people to get arrested, I'm gonna throw in the pick that's usually you never expect it, but I'm gonna say Dick. I'm gonna say the head honcho himself.
I also said we gave 2 guesses on the Dickheads podcast, and my guesses were Dick and Ralph. Those are my top 2 picks for who go to jail next.
Ralph's go over
like
the border a lot. Yeah, Ralph goes over the border a lot too, which does provide some risk. I'm hoping, and whether he thinks he's connected to the show anymore or not, I think Josh is going to get hit hard. He's been talking, Josh Null from Kiwi Farms. He keeps talking about moving back to America. If he moves back to America, he's getting served with every lawsuit on Earth. He's like criminal harassment. He's like lying about what companies are saying that he's doing in order to like raise money for like legal fund. That might be just straight up fraud. It might not be fraud, but it just sounds like fraud to me.
Sounds a little bit like fraud, I would say.
Yeah, and like even if raising money under false pretenses is totally fine, I still feel like at some point, like he's gonna get hit with something. If he's in America, it doesn't matter where he's hosting his website. He's gonna get charged. People don't like him. They don't like what he does, and he tries to constantly alienates any avenue he could have. So he's either gonna end up in like jail or like debtor's prison, I think.
What about you, Cats and Blackbread? Who do you think's going to jail?
I already said Vito.
Oh wait,
For the reason
I think it's Krim who didn't say who's going to jail.
Oh yeah, it's Josh, or it might be me. Lots of people are pretty mad at me on the internet.
Ooh, yeah, maybe you're gonna go to jail.
I guess I'm kind of lucky I don't have as big as a cult following, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have
Kiwi
a following?
Farms thinks I went to jail.
I'm genuinely curious.
I mean, I have Redox who fucking hates my guns.
There's one post on Kiwi Farms
There's
one post on Kiwi Farms from one of those retards who can't understand that there's 2 Rileys that exist at the same time, who thinks that I got arrested because Riley got arrested. Like they named me. It wasn't even like irrelevant. It was the fucking Monkey Jones thread, and they were talking about some drama with fucking Florian. And they're like, there's this guy who's on this podcast named Riley, not to be confused with this Riley, my legal first and last name that I won't say, but it's out there, who recently got arrested. And I'm like, no, that's not true. That was a different guy.
Yeah, they're really bad at analyzing records and stuff over there. Someone
It's
was
insane.
like trying to surmise that I was in like Massachusetts and associated with some sort of like university, I guess. Which, I mean, maybe, I don't know. Who do I know? I might know someone over there. I run the Krimcl show or Krimtacular or whatever, and they've got this like news organization, logistics distribution thing with the Dickington Post, where I just pass information around to people who can make it hurt the most. It's pretty much all I do, so I don't know. It's not illegal. I don't do anything illegal. I don't threaten people, but people seem to like pretend I do because they don't like that they've associated themselves with things that are horrible, like this entire side of the internet that Kiwi Farms involves itself in. It's not like a good place to be. It's not like somewhere you should be going for information if you want your life to be like stable and healthy.
Was it like always bad? Like that's the thing, right? It's like Josh used to be cool, and then like all of a sudden it kind of just came tumbling down, and like
some people say
built this
that
like crazy vendetta against Dick and
Yeah.
Nick specifically, among other people.
a lot of people kind of try to kind of pinpoint that around when they started allowing, instead of just people like Chris Chan, they started doing lol cows, which to them appeared to be, or the eCeleb forum, I think is what they did. And basically at that point, they're just like, well, this YouTuber's a lol cow because they make content and interact with people on Twitter. And that's basically like the entire summary of what a lol cow is to these people. And then they make up an idea of what the person is. And then when that person doesn't do that thing, they get really mad forever. Josh in particular like rage quit the Dick Show community because Riley said he liked Digi more than him. Like,
it was about
you suck
Trixie
and don't have
general,
any clout.
right?
Yeah. Trixie's more popular than you.
Show.
Well, and the problem was that Null had been screaming that everyone in the chat was a pedophile for 3 weeks, so no one liked him there. He didn't get kicked out, he left. He says he was banned and kicked out, but he quit. He left on his own.
Yeah, I remember there was something Riley said to him that they always quote, where it's like you're the guy at the party nobody wants there, or something like that. And that
that's
Null
left.
left.
And a half.
Yeah. Null left, and that was around the same time that like Null seems really opinion dependent based on where his money's coming from. And so when the new Project 2 thing shut down that Dick Masterson was running as a payment like Patreon alternative, Josh basically disconnected entirely and started saying that he had to like believe whatever his forum was saying because that was his like money train. And then I think that's just sort of like cycled downwards. And anytime anyone tries to like tell him anything that's real, he thinks they're trying to like manipulate him now. I think when you isolate yourself like that, you become paranoid. Especially with something like the farms where they specifically like breed and entice paranoia. And that causes people to do weird things like send a pedophile to get documents about someone's children.
Yeah, that was a pretty massive L. That was a pretty gigantic Kiwi Farms L. That was hilarious. That was fucking how?
Yeah.
How did
where he's like, hey, judge, the first guy on this list is like a convicted child predator. Can we like not give these documents to them? Done, sealed forever.
Done, sealed, redacted, gone.
Man, Nick is going a little hog wild on Twitter. I don't know if I'd be. He's getting very aggressive.
You know, I think so too. But like Alyssa Clips and Kino Casino are like objectively trying to hurt Nick's children to get at him. Like they don't care what they're doing or what lie they tell or like who's like going on to report it to other people. They're like spreading all of these things they know are fake to cause harm to him, to like get his kids taken away, to just hurt him more because nothing. There's literally no reason for it. None of them actually believe he did anything to the kid, and their basis for it is things that even the court tossed out. Like, there were no actual allegations of, like, abuse at any point, and they just say that there were now, even though, like, they have their kids back, and that's, like, resolved.
Yeah, they wouldn't have their fucking kids back if they were abusing their kids. Like, especially not this quick.
Yeah, and to me, personally, encouraging any child to go into the foster system is you saying you want that child raped. Like, that's the same statement to me.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong.
It may be an extreme stance, but like of all the government agencies that you shouldn't trust with kids, it's like schools and like foster care. If you have the resources to keep your children away from those, you definitely like should. Unfortunately, foster care is kind of foisted on you, and school is similarly very difficult to escape without like a strong community co-op ties, and that's ultimately what got Nick's kids reported to foster care. So
I think you kind of, it's unfortunate because I think you kind of need school though, or else you kind of just are like your parents' fucking clay to mold. I'm getting sick of this.
Yeah. You're right. Conceptually, you do need for education some outside influence that isn't just your parents, because that's not robust. That can't be robust enough. Like you need, like, I don't think like a centralized federal government education system is going to do it, but like you need your kids need to get socialized somehow. I don't know if school's the way to do it, but like they need to meet other children. Like when you're raising a dog, they're even like, well, you have to have this dog meet like 100 people before it's like 2, or it's gonna be like fucked and just like freaked out by people forever. I think humans might be kind of similar, but we also kind of destroyed that by putting masks on people and not letting children identify faces for large swaths of their youth, and like
giving them like
I really think
notion.
However bad school is, video school is totally worthless.
Yeah, completely. And I really think this has become a very hot take. People have started getting really fucking anal about this shit. But like, I am legitimately of the opinion that it takes a village to raise a child, in that I don't think your kid should only be influenced by, I think your kid needs a place to live a life separately from you. They're not they're not your fucking clay to mold. They're not a little you for you to fucking indoctrinate and set out into the world. They're their own person, and I think it is extremely beneficial for them to have places to exist where you are not directly influencing them to become their own person.
These places used to exist in public with like physical checks and balances by the actual existence in reality. Now these places that they go are online, and you get like weird mixed age discords that Mr. Beast is running. And like, they're just like, they have no separation between children and adults. It's weird. There's no community public stuff anymore. Like when I was younger in my like youth, there were like coffee shops that people would like hang out at and do things together at. Like there were places outside of the home and school that you could go to. And now they're trying to hijack that again by calling it a third place and put that in government control too, after they like destroyed it for whatever reason.
That's an interesting correlation there, is that the internet shit, where I do feel like as parents have become like more strict and more controlling of like being in control of their children's like and being around their children at all times, that they turn to the internet because it's the only place where they can be their own person, and then they get caught up in the wrong fucking crowd.
They get groomed into maybe sexually, maybe not, but it's like a mixed age discord by its nature, whether intentional or not, is grooming. Like it's not safe for 13-year-olds to be in the same space as 25-year-olds in a community where you can't like get that barrier. Because normally you look at a 13-year-old, like that person's 13, I'm going to act differently around them. If you're like a sane, not predatory person, right? There's no, and like you have the social pressure from other people not to do that, hopefully, unless you're like a rock star, I guess. There's nothing there stopping them from just treating each other like it's the same. Like I don't necessarily like it's probably predatory to post porn on Discord at all, but like it posting it and it being casual, like Scar's just posting pictures of his dick to like annoy people on Discord, and he's like an adult, and that's like it's kind of funny. But once you start having a mixed age thing, it's less funny, It's not, even though he's not doing anything different, there's no way for him to like avoid that if there were people who were under 18 in there without honestly, explicitly knowing everyone.
It kind of became like a trend on Discord, like no matter what your server is, with some extent, not every server I was in had this, but like servers like a long time ago, like it was just like commonplace for them to have an NSFW channel where porn is posted. Like my server used to, just because like 95% of servers I'm in had that, so I just had.
Well, yeah, it would almost function like a collection net, because people post porn in general if you didn't have one.
Yeah, and then one day somebody was like, "Hey, couldn't like minors access this if they wanted to?" And I was like, you know what, you're right, and I don't even know why we have this, so I just deleted it. But
yeah, like some servers are like the Dick Show Discord is like credit card paywalled. The Mr. Girl server is like phone authorization paywalled. Stuff like that kind of helps weed it out a little bit, but
and I don't
once
think
you've got that sexual content there, it's like it's different. Like it's
Yeah, well, the once you the section is different, but like what I don't think I disagree with you, and I think mixed age discords can be okay. Like I was never, I've been around Discord since I was like 15 or 16, and I don't think I was
Yeah.
ever dated on. Like I was in plenty of
Yeah.
communities that knew I was young, and like
Yeah.
that like I would say there's an old Pokemon podcast that I would recommend to Pokemon fans everywhere. Blastburn Radio, rest in peace. And I was a huge member of their community, and I think they were extremely good at like making me feel like I was part of the community in like a not like a stupid kid way, but also keeping
Yeah.
me safe because I was a stupid kid. Like
Yeah.
I think I'm really thankful to them for doing that, and I had a lot of communities like that, but yeah, it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and I don't think they're all like predatory necessarily, but I think if people don't like realize that there is a fundamental issue here, that's people treat online stuff like it's the real world, but it's different. Like it functions differently. Like the information you have is like a different mode that you're functioning in. And I think people need to be more aware of that. That there are. Like the communities you're in sound like they were aware that there were vulnerable people there,
Yeah,
and they're
they were
trying
aware
to
they were
keep
minors.
it so
they
that
acted accordingly. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people don't realize that that's like a thing that they need to do, either because like they've never managed communities before, or they don't care, or they don't like who knows why exactly. Maybe it's intentionally predatory, maybe it's not. But if you're not aware that it can be, I feel like it will inevitably fall into that.
Hey, Krim.
What up?
This is likely what people could find if they went to go and check out your show, correct?
Probably. I've got one where I'm yelling about
cute
not fucking your Pokemon.
You can tell Captain Blackbread wants to go to bed.
Yeah, we are at like a 2-hour mark here, so it's understandable.
Yeah, I was just like, I know there's a way I can do this. I know there's a way I can reel it in.
I can
And
get
I've
it
been
in.
trying to figure out this whole time.
I think I can.
Yeah, watch.krimcl.com or call.krimcl.com, and those will get you there somewhere. And trying to do a show at 8:30 p.m. on Fridays after the biggest problem in the universe. It's totally not an after show. Fuck Vito. It's got nothing to do with him at all. I didn't steal their logo and edit it into my logo for the show. It's totally unrelated, but yeah, it's probably after the biggest problem there. Trying to go live works sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. It depends what I have. That's about it.
In.
Sweet.
We're all getting Krim-pilled. Captain Blackbread, where can they find you?
Well, first of all, listen to the Bigger Black Breadier cast on my YouTube channel, Captain Blackbread, or on Spotify. Just search the show's name. So that's Breadier, Breadier. Breadier, not bread of yore, right? To hear yourself on the show, call our voicemail line, 727-487-1137, or email us, theissuecrew@gmail.com. Most importantly, you gotta get out there and vote. You gotta vote.
This is the last episode before Election Day, so fuck elections. Who cares about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump? This is what you really need to vote for: is who had the largest issue on the issue crew today.
Yeah. If you are gonna vote, make sure you vote on your local initiatives before you even consider voting for a human being. Those are way more important.
True.
That's how we got legalized.
True, that is very important.
Amen to that.
What about you, Kang? Where can they find you? For more cringe, where can they find you?
Fuck you for that, Riley. You can find me at linktr.ee/Grimum. It has all my links, my YouTube, which is lying dormant until I decide to get my ass starting to upload. You can find my Twitch there. You can find my Twitter. Fuck you, I'm not calling it X, but yeah. Find me.
You're in Florida. You're in Florida. You should be voting to legalize marijuana this year. That is what Florida is doing. The cops are really pissed about it, so you should definitely vote for it.
Oh,
I didn't
even realize they were voting on that this year. I'm
that
so
is a whole
excited
can
to
of
go
worms.
vote now. Even more
believe
than I
me,
was.
I am 22 and I am legal to vote, and I am fucking voting to legalize marijuana here, dude.
When I visit there, I want to be able to smoke. All right, and that is important to me. All right. Not that I visit Florida. I've only been there once, but I want to go back.
Yeah.
You said to smoke fucking THCA, which they just like tricked you into thinking was a different thing.
I'm not convinced that it's
weed.
the same.
Look,
That's what I'm convinced it is. Shitty weed.
In my home, I want to be able to smoke a blunt and fuck a cunt. There you go.
Wow.
Well, we can
What-
probably
what wise
legalize half
word.
of that.
That's what the initiative is called.
I don't think we can get you that second one medically, though. Unfortunately, not yet.
They're working on it.
Smoke
mandated
blunts,
girlfriends.
fuck
Grow a
cunts.
vagina.
That's my campaign motto this year.
I'm gonna legalize
What,
weed
grow
and
a
states.
vagina?
No, legalize weed and state mandated girlfriends. It's good policy
Hell
position.
yeah! Let's go! Okay.
There's still hope for
Anyway.
you left, Riley. We got this.
I know. linktr.ee/Riley Cinematic Universe. That's RIELY Cinematic Universe. So many YouTube channels, so many podcasts, so much fucking content to inject into your fucking brain holes. It's insane. We're gonna.
Oh yeah,
we
I
got new-
Not
guess
supposed
I'm.
to have brain holes.
I really got to write down what I fucking so I can read it at some point. Too much shit. How many channels do you have?
Shit. I can't even count. Fucking too many.
It's not his
There you
fault.
go.
He really just doesn't know how to count.
Well, that's why that exists. linktr.ee/Riley Cinematic Universe. They're all in one convenient place for you to find. So if you like me, you can go there. We got new stuff coming down the pipe soon. Live podcast this week might be starting. Maybe I should be getting my computer in the mail on Wednesday.
Episode 2 of the Bigger Black Bird of Your Cast dropped just recently. Check it out.
True. Check out the Big Black Radio Cast, and then Saturdays at noon, hopefully starting today, as of when this gets released on Saturday. Me and Demi Gloom will be doing a weekly live stream show named TBD. I think we've agreed that we want to change it from Riley Radio Live to something that encompasses the both of us. We just have not thought of an idea yet, so we'll see what we think of. But we're going to do a live podcast every Saturday at noon Eastern, and you won't want to miss it. And so much more, folks. And that's on the Riley and Friends YouTube channel, which is my main YouTube channel where I post all of my content. And also probably Demi's channel. I think we're going to either stream on both or alternate. We're talking. We're working out the kinks, but we're going to do a thing. And folks, I think that's about it. So I thank you all for listening to the Issue Crew. My issue was letting the fandom ruin it for you.
My issue was apolitical YouTubers being political.
My issue was
It was double hurricanes.
Back-to-back hurricanes.
Back-to-back
was the issue,
hurricanes.
Kang.
sorry.
My issue was military simps, specifically Bosch Fasten, who's basically
Yeah.
a fascist.
Fuck that guy. Folks, we will see you next week.
I'll beat this
Sick.
name.
Catch y'all later.